Imagine looking up at the night sky, where a small red dot shimmers faintly among a sea of countless stars. From a distance, it seems quiet, harmless, just a flicker in the dark. But to those who know, it's a world of cold, lonely desert suspended in the void, waiting for us. For centuries, Mars has been more than just a planet. It's been a symbol. The Romans named it after their god of war, poets painted it in their verses, and scientists stared at it through glass lenses, dreaming of what might lie beyond its thin veil of dust. And now, for the first time, humanity is preparing to cross that gap, not for a quick visit, but to plant roots, to build something permanent, a home. To understand the task ahead, you have to picture what Mars really is. By day, under the pale sunlight, the air is so thin that even the strongest breeze wouldn't ruffle your hair. By night, the cold bites like steel, plunging to -100°C, enough to freeze steel-hard ice beneath the soil. The atmosphere is mostly carbon dioxide, utterly unbreathable. And all around, stretching to the horizon, are plains of reddish dust, broken only by jagged cliffs, ancient craters, and volcanoes taller than any mountain on Earth. But it's also familiar in strange ways. A Martian day is only 40 minutes longer than our own. The planet spins on a tilted axis, giving it seasons. Water ice hides under its poles and inside its rocks. And scientists believe that billions of years ago, rivers carved valleys here, lakes shimmered under sunlight, and maybe life once thrived. That's part of the allure. Mars isn't just another world. It's a mirror of what Earth might have been, or could become. For Elon Musk and SpaceX, Mars is a calling. We must become a multi-planetary species, he says, not as a dreamer but as a man with a blueprint. For NASA, it's the next chapter in exploration, after Apollo and the moon landings. For scientists, it's a once-in-a-lifetime chance to answer the biggest question in biology. Are we alone? But beneath all of that is something deeper: survival. Earth, for all its beauty, is fragile. Asteroids still roam the solar system. Our own climate shifts in ways we struggle to control. And history has shown us that civilizations can collapse. Having another home, even a small one, means humanity's story doesn't end with one planet. The journey to Mars begins not on its dusty plains, but here, in the shipyards of Earth. The spacecraft of tomorrow, like SpaceX's Starship, are immense gleaming cylinders taller than skyscrapers, designed to carry not just a few astronauts, but entire crews with supplies, habitats, and even vehicles. Inside, the living quarters are compact but functional, bunks stacked along the walls, communal dining areas, small exercise rooms, hydroponic gardens where lettuce grows under LED light. But stepping aboard isn't like boarding an airplane. Once the hatch closes and the engines roar, you're committing to a voyage of 7 to 9 months. There's no turning around. The moment the engines cut off and weightlessness sets in, the crew will drift through a reality few have known, floating down narrow corridors, securing every tool so it doesn't float away, and staring out portholes at the shrinking blue marble of Earth. Radiation will be the silent enemy, invisible, constant, gnawing at DNA. The walls of the ship will be lined with tanks of water and special plastics to absorb some of the rays. But the threat never disappears. Exercise will be relentless, 2 hours a day to keep muscles from wasting away in microgravity. And the mind will be tested in ways we can only guess. No forests to walk through, no ocean waves, no rain, just the hum of machines, the beeps of instruments, and the same faces every day. Some ships might have virtual reality rooms where you can step into a simulation of a park or a city street, just to remember what open space feels like. Years before the first crew even leaves Earth, Mars will already be changing. Robots will land, each one a piece of the future. Imagine dozens of them rolling off lander, some laying out solar panels in neat rows, others drilling into the ground for ice, others building shelters with 3D printed bricks made from Martian dust. Over months, a small cluster of habitats will rise, each one tested for leaks, power, stability, and structural strength. The idea is simple. When the first humans arrive, they shouldn't find an empty wasteland. They should find a seed of a town. Then comes the landing. The descent will be brutal. Thin air offers little resistance, so the ship will plunge fast, relying on rocket engines to slow down. Dust will swirl around the landing pad, the horizon blurred in rusty clouds. When the hatch opens, the crew will step out not into open air, but into a storm of fine grit. Their first breaths will be through the filters of their suits, their voices crackling over radios. They will walk carefully, knowing that a simple fall could tear a suit and mean death in minutes. But their eyes will take in something no human has ever truly seen: an alien horizon, not through a camera, but with their own eyes. Life in the early days will be about survival. Every habitat will be sealed, its air recycled endlessly. Water will be precious, each drop tracked. Food will come from stored rations at first, but the crew will work quickly to start their farms, vertical racks of plants under artificial light, each leaf a promise of independence from Earth. Outside, they'll expand the solar arrays, build more storage tanks, and test new equipment. When something breaks, and something always breaks, it must be fixed with whatever tools and materials are on hand. Resupply from Earth will take over a year. As the colony grows, it will move from surviving to living. Lava tubes, massive underground tunnels formed by ancient lava flows, will be explored. Some will be turned into natural bunkers, shielding entire communities from radiation. Greenhouses will multiply, glowing in the dusk. Workshops will open, making tools, spare parts, and even new habitats from Martian resources. Slowly, dependence on Earth will shrink. The settlement will start to feel like a place people can truly call home. Life on Mars will be unlike anywhere else. Children will grow up knowing how to put on a pressure suit before they can ride a bike. Sports will adapt to low-gravity, basketball players jumping twice as high, runners leaping across long stretches of ground. Birthdays might be celebrated in the greenhouse, surrounded by the only living plants on the planet. Art will capture the red deserts, the pale blue sunsets, the feeling of standing on a world millions of kilometers from where humanity began. The far future holds even greater dreams. Terraforming, a word that means reshaping an entire planet, could one day make Mars more Earth-like. Massive mirrors in orbit might focus sunlight to warm the surface. Factories could release greenhouse gases to thicken the air. Ice caps could melt, releasing water to fill shallow seas. Plants engineered to survive in the thin atmosphere could begin producing oxygen. This is work for generations, perhaps centuries, but the seeds of it will be planted by the first colonists. Back on Earth, the impact will be profound. The closed-loop life support systems perfected on Mars will make Earth's cities cleaner. Water extraction techniques will bring life to deserts. The psychology of isolation will teach us how to care for people in extreme environments, from submarines to Antarctic stations. And perhaps most importantly, Mars will become a symbol not of escape, but of possibility. One day, an ordinary morning on Mars will look like this. The sun rises smaller and dimmer than on Earth, casting a golden light across the red plains. Inside a habitat carved into a lava tube, an alarm beeps softly. A colonist wakes, stretches in the lower gravity, and walks to the window. Outside, in the thin air, a neighbor in a suit is tending to a greenhouse. Children's laughter echoes from an indoor playground. Somewhere far away, a rover rumbles over rocky ground, bringing back samples from an unexplored canyon. And in that quiet moment, it's clear. Mars is no longer a dream. It's home. And above, on a tiny blue dot in the distance, Earth watches, knowing that its children have taken their first true step into the universe.